All right, Corey, one of the things I noticed is, soot buildup in engines, it really robs the engines of power. So,
Right. We noticed that just in our trucks driving around. They're definitely not at the rated horsepower. We're having trouble getting up to highway speeds, just not performing the way it was or was supposed to be.
yeah,
And
soot buildup, too, it'll rob your fuel economy and stuff like that.
Right.
It sucks, We have a machine, it's called the Soot Slayer, it cleans the intake side and the exhaust side of the engine, cleans all that soot out, all the black carbon and stuff like that.
so I've seen that machine, and to me, it looks like kind of an R2D unit that is an octopus. I mean, there's hoses and tubes all over the place. I've seen you hook it up to the motor, and it's just this crazy looking contraption, and it runs how?
Yeah, so it runs off air. You hook it into the EGR cooler side. You run it on that side first. It runs through the EGR cooler. Because you can get EGR valves that are or EGR coolers that are completely plugged, with black soot, and that all is caused from, the engine idle. It's just, you get up to highway speeds, it cleans all that stuff out. That's what your regen's kind of doing. But, with the Soot Slayer, it hooks up there, runs compressed air and a chemical that we have. It forces that chemical through the EGR, and you run a couple pushes on that, and it'll clean out the EGR cooler. It cleans your turbo vanes, cleans all them sensors on that side of the engine, and then it dumps all that soot into a big can, and we dispose of it. And then you go around and you hook it up on the intake side, take off the EGR valve and go it through one of the differential ports, and it'll clean the valves. It'll clean all your differential pressure sensors, EGR valve, intake. We had one, it had a pile of soot on that back table back there. It was, insanely amount of soot, but
Yeah, I saw one you showed me before, and it was sitting outside, and it was on the ground. So I'm assuming it's not a chemical hazard.
No, not at all. It's all this, what goes up in the air that your DPF's catching, this is all, it's just getting all that stuff. Cause once your DPF gets plugged up, all that soot doesn't have anywhere to go. And when you're not completing a regen, it just plugs up into your engine. The intakes on a new engine's completely green. We pull them in where they idle a bunch, and there's a 1/4 inch of soot, that, just builds up from, burning oil or, anything like that. It's just all that, emissions that's supposed to go out and catch in the DPF and then burn off. It just gets plugged up on your valves and all that stuff. And in the end, that, causes the fuel economy issues and stuff like that. But the Soot Slayer, it on the intake side, you run that through one time. It's crazy because your intake ends up going back to damn near looking new, and on a Cummins it's green. It's something easy way of explaining it. It goes from black to just like a great green color, and then we run, you got to change the oil on it after that. But in the end, you get that, and then you get a quality mechanic like me to come in and check out your truck. In the end, it's one of them things, we run that service and then get a oil change, and I guarantee your truck's running better. You're saving money and all that stuff. So until next time, remember, get the shit out of your engine.